Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Zane, better known as the King Bahamut, and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy I on the NES. In the last episode, we defeated Astos, got Matoya's crystal eye back, and gave it to her, and used the herb that she gave us to wake up the sleeping elf prince, who gave us the Mystic Key. In this episode, now that we have the Mystic Key, there's actually a bunch of treasure chests that we can get around at various places around the world that we could not get before because they were locked behind doors. So, in this episode, I am going to show off those treasure locations and what things we can find in them. And the first set of stuff that we can find is unfortunately in the Marsh Cave, which means that I have to go through this dungeon again. However, for the sake of keeping the pacing of this episode somewhat snappy, and so that I don't have to do a million cuts, I'm actually going to do something here. Going to borrow a page from Chuckle Conroy. I'm just going to speed up and play some music for you until we get to the location where the treasure chests are at. So that way you don't have to listen to me try and ramble through a whole bunch of battles. So I will see you at the place where the treasures are located. Okay, here we are at the bottom floor. And if we go through here, we have, well, first we have to fight some wizards. But you can see that there's a treasure chest over there for us, so it is worth our time to go and knock these guys out. Assuming we don't get our butts kicked in the process. That was a lot of damage just there. We already got rid of one of them. Oh, for the love of... That was a pretty weak Ice 2 spell that we just cast there. Hope that I can finish these guys off quickly. Actually, hang on. I want to rethink this a little bit. Cast Cure on myself. And then have Risa cast Cure on me as well. And just cast Fire on this guy. Nope. Nope, it wasn't enough. That sucks. There's no way to revive me. So, unfortunately, my character's gonna be a bit underleveled. Joy. This treasure just better be worth it. Inside the treasure box, you found a silver bracelet. That is actually worth it, I would say. Because that is a good piece of equipment. Unfortunately, because my character died, means my healing options have been cut in half. I'm just gonna run away from these guys. Although I'm not sure that I can. Oh, Jesus. Welp. That's no fun. This is awkward. You know what? You know what I'm gonna do? I hate to do this, but I'm gonna reset. I'm gonna load a save state, and I'm going to try that again, because that ended very poorly, and I would like to have a run where I don't lose 2 of my characters to bad luck. So give me just a sec. Okay, that trek through the marsh cave went a lot better. So I think I will be better prepared for any of the battles that we have coming up. So approach this treasure chest. This is all the way on the right. And 4 wizards. Okay. That's nice. That's not cool at all. Let's just nuke them with fire too and hope that is enough to knock them out. That does not look like it's enough to do anything to them. Fun. Fun, fun, fun for everyone. But luckily, Brian can knock him out. Please. A completely useless heal spell, because all that's going to heal is the damage I took getting here, and not actually any of their attacks. Turn order in this game being basically random can cause problems. Let's see. Let's cast Ice 2. Brian hit this guy. Risa use Cure 2 on me because I do not want to kick the bucket. And Lewis cast Lightning 2. Brian gets rid of one of them, so hopefully this spell will do a little bit more damage. It did not, really? Wizard attacks. Oh, God. Okay, so they seem to take a little bit more damage from lightning. Yeah, okay, they take a lot more damage from lightning. Maybe I was just getting better luck with damage rolls, but it seems that lightning is the way to go. Alright, open the treasure chest. You get 1,020 gold. Kind of an oddly specific number if you ask me, but more gold is always good, because it means they can be used to buy more potions. Alright. And we're getting in fights. Cutting away! Alright, behind door number 3, which, because door number 2 I already saw, has no items in it. Now, you'll be forced into a battle here, but luckily, you can choose which enemy to fight. Now, these cobras here are much less dangerous than the other option that you would have had to fight, because if you step on the left tile, you would have had to fight more wizards, which, based on the luck I've been having, I do not want to do. So, let's cast ice on these guys, and hopefully reptile logic means that ectothermic creatures will be weak to ice, which I don't think that's actually a thing in this game, but it did get rid of one of them, so that's a plus. I'm pretty sure these guys can poison you, because they are snake enemies. But seems like that second ice spell knocked him straight out. Easy peasy. Thankfully, they give much less experience in gold than the wizards do, but they're also much less dangerous, which is the trade-off. And we got a silver, I think that's a silver knife. That's a better weapon, I believe, than the weapon Lewis currently has equipped. So is strength stat of 5, and that's not the correct tab. Oh, I was looking at the wrong tab. Damage is 13 with that equipped. And his damage is 10 with the other weapon equipped. So yeah, it is a better weapon than the large knife. Alright. More enemies. So let's run away real quick. Okay. So that out of the way. Let's go over here. And we had more wizards that we have to fight. Oh, never mind. We have cobras that we have to fight instead. So I'm just going to cast lightning. And Lewis cast ice. Oh, you're all just going to gang up on Lewis, aren't you? That's fun. Now, thankfully, they don't seem to have all that much health, because Brian was able to kill one with about 80 or so damage. Yeah, they have around 80 HP, which is not all that much for enemies in this game. His ice spell was able to get rid of quite a few of them. And this lightning spell should finish these last two off. Yep. Having a much better run of this return visit than I did last time. And we get the silver bracelet. Who is going to receive that? I'm going to give that to Lewis, because he seems to get bodied. He got bodied quite badly by a number of enemies here. Risa, you heal everyone up just a little bit. And unfortunately, we are not done here quite yet. There is still there's one other treasure cache that we need to get. And I think I'm just gonna speed up and play music until we reach that point, because I have to double check my guide I'm using to find its location. So, speed up. So it turns out I was wrong. I read the guide incorrectly. That bottom row of rooms at the bottom floor of the Marsh Cave was all that there was to the treasures that we can find in the Marsh Cave. So our next stop is the Northwest Castle. So I'm just gonna cut away until I get inside there, and I will show off the treasures that are here, that are in that location. Okay, now that we're inside the Northwest Castle, there's thankfully no encounters to worry about here, but I do have to try and remember where the treasure locations actually are. I think this is the only one that I have to worry about. I also know that there are booby-trapped spaces, and we'll have to deal with these mummies if we step on them. But luckily for us, mummies are not actually that much of a threat. Because they are undead, they can be harmed with the harm spell, and they are weak to fire, as pretty much any sort of dead body enemy is. Oh, but they can put you asleep with their regular attacks. That's interesting. I mean, thankfully, the regular-ass harm spell did a lot more damage than I was expecting it to. Alright. After that fight, we get a power staff. And we get the falchion. And the iron gauntlet. Now, the falchion, or falchion, means that we can deal extra damage to dragon enemies, right? Yeah, no. Wrong game. They're talking about the historical the historical falchion, which is not a typical sword in the sense. It's supposed to be like a curved scimitar-like sword. Okay, the next location on our hit list for locked treasure spaces is actually the Temple of the Fiends, all the way back near Corneria. So I'm going to cut away once again, and I'll show off the location of where those are in just a minute. So see you then. Okay, real quick, before I actually meet you back at the at Corneria, I am real quick stopping off at Elfland to buy the Pure Spell for Risa, because I've been having some bad luck with getting poisoned by enemies, and the Pure Spell is basically a spell version of a Pure Potion, and since it's pretty much the only good spell of the Tier 4 white magic, in my opinion at least, it's a worthwhile purchase because it can potentially save your life if you have to deal with poison, because you won't be using it. You won't be using that tier of magic for a whole lot of anything, so you might as well just have that on standby, just for the sake of having it. But anyways, I will see you for real this time back at Corneria. Okay, back at the Temple of the Fiends. If I remember correctly, the locked doors were both on this side, and I can't tell. Yeah, that was a booby trap. These enemies do not appear in the temple normally. So let's bop them. These gargoyles, there's only 2 of them. They are fairly straightforward enemies. Of course, as soon as I say that, Risa misses her attack. Ugh. That was weak. Didn't even get rid of a single one. Oop, that was more damage than I was expecting. Then again, it was to my white mage, so can't say I'm that surprised. Come on, Brian, just knock this guy out already. Okay, there we go. Alright. Monsters defeated. And inside this treasure box, we get a rune sword. That's a special sword, and as I mentioned with this game and having a lot of glitches, a lot of the special swords in this game are supposed to have these kind of unique effects to deal extra damage to certain kinds of monsters. Those effects don't work. So the different special swords are pretty much only useful either for their attack power or for selling. And we have more gargoyles in this treasure chest. I don't think fire would be too effective on them, so let's try fire, or lightning, sorry. And let's try ice. Let's see how those 2 spells do. Cracking my neck. I'm recording this after a long day at work, which is why my commentary may be a little bit more subdued than usual. I tend to record on my days off when I'm a bit more awake, shall we say. Well, regardless, those guys were knocked out. So we get a wear sword, or a whir sword, and a soft potion. Soft potion is a potion that will cure petrification, which is a status effect that we have not encountered yet. But we will, and boy howdy am I not looking forward to the dungeon where we're going to run into that mechanic because oh boy howdy, it's a dungeon. You know, considering how badly the Marsh Cave fucked me up. You know, it's probably the hardest dungeon in the game, the dungeon where we'll run into petrification. But it's one of those dungeons where if I can get through it, and get through it successfully, the rest of this game will become much easier and much more enjoyable, I would say. Because every RPG has what I like to call a hump, which is the point in an RPG where it's a segment of gameplay that kind of sucks, but if you can get past it, the game opens up, it becomes much more enjoyable, and just all around a great time. And every RPG has one without question. But anyways, moving off that point, we have one last set of treasures to collect, and wouldn't you know it, it's in Corneria Castle. So that's going to be our last destination. So give me just a second, because I have to cut away again. Well, wouldn't you know it, I only ran into one battle during that cut, so that's a little bit of editing that I didn't really need to do. Some extra work that I gave myself, yay me. Now the one trick with this castle is navigating it, because it's actually kind of confusingly built. Use that key. Inside, you will find what you find will be quite helpful. A wonky verb tense there. This treasure room is locked with the mystical key. Not anymore. It's not. So in this, we get an iron staff. We get a saber. We get another silver knife. We get some iron armor. We run out of inventory space. I presume that's another piece of armor. But anyways, in this chest here, we get the TNT, which is the actual item we need. So, hang on just a sec. I need to shuffle around my inventory, I think. Let me see. Can mages equip iron armor? Yeah, I didn't think so. So I think I'm just going to sell all of the excess armor that I have in my inventory at the moment. So give me just a second to do that. Inside this chest we find an iron shield. Oh, that's actually a very good item. Oh, Brian already has an iron shield. Whoops! Never mind. It's not so useful outside of selling fodder. But I have to double check, because the weapons in this game I'm not too familiar with. Their actual stats off the top of my head, and there's no real way to double check any of that outside of just testing to see what has the most power, which I may actually do. So hang on just a sec. Or you know what? No, I'm gonna look it up on a guide off screen and do it that way. So let's sell this iron shield. Alright. And that takes care of that. So let me just real quick stop off at the inn to top off my health and spell charges. And we are set. So, with all that out of the way, next time on Let's Play Final Fantasy I, we are going to be sailing west to the Dwarf Cave, which I believe that there was a townsperson in the Elven Castle that told us that we have to go that way. Because that's where we have to go with our TNT. and that will actually lead us to the next area of the game. And so, yeah, that's what we'll be doing next episode. So, until then, my name is Zane, better known as the King Bahamut. This has been another episode of Let's Play Final Fantasy 1. Please leave a like and comment if you enjoyed this video, and as always, you can hit the subscribe button and the bell icon for notifications if you wish to see more. I will see you in the next episode.